Thursday. That's it.
Yeah.
Bye.
Welcome to Screen Junkies Universe.
Thanks for watching.
I'm Roth Cornet. I am joined by a team of brilliant gentlemen in the form of Dan Murrell.
Hi.
Spencer Gilbert.
Yo.
Joe Starr. We have a big show today, you guys.
I finished Stranger Things.
You did?
Yeah.
Yay,
Oh.
Joe.
If you guys didn't tune in earlier this week, we did a Stranger Things review, and Joe had to leave because we were going to talk about spoilers. So we'll get your take on that after we talk about Mr. Superman, the DCEU, and Star Wars going kind of full Empire. A little
Disney
bit. That's
going-
Disney
Disney
via
definitely
Star
going full
Wars.
Empire.
And the Lion King cast, and then we'll check in with you about Stranger Things and get your take.
Great.
Let's start with Superman himself. Had something to say about the DC movies. He said they haven't worked 100%. In an interview with Poetic Justice, this is what Henry Cavill.
What's Poetic Justice?
A very underrated movie.
Kendrick Lamar song.
What are the other things? The Poetic Justice traditionally is
a truth of the universe.
a truth of the universe. I had the same question about the outlet Poetic Justice, Spencer, so I don't blame you. Our own wonderful host and producer, Billy Business, did go down that rabbit hole. I'm still unclear, but here's what he said to them. Even if Marvel didn't exist, we'd struggle. There was a style that Warner Brothers and DC Comics were going for, an attempt to be different and look at things from a slightly different perspective, which hasn't necessarily worked. Yes, it has made money, but has not been a critical success. It hasn't given everyone that sensation which superheroes should give the viewer. So this is Superman saying this, not us. This is Superman saying this. But what's interesting to me is that this is right before Justice League comes out. So is part of like, is he sort of off topic here? Is he going down his own rabbit hole? Or is he kind of doing the thing that Warner Brothers wants to say, hey, we know that critics haven't loved this in the past, we're working on it.
Yeah, I think one of two things is going on. Either this is, the sort of, hey, give us another shot tour, where they've all sort of been instructed to be like, yeah, just acknowledge that maybe they're not great and we want to get better. Or B, he's very frustrated they wouldn't let him keep the mustache for Justice League, and so now he's just like throwing the studio under the bus.
We think it's mustache related.
I think this is full mustache. I don't think we can accept anything he has to say here.
I don't know if it's mustache related. I mean,
That's
he's
fair.
not. He's being very honest. I don't think he's really being negative. He's kind of just stating facts. They were looking at it from a slightly different perspective. Well, you can't deny that. Even Zack Snyder said that. It's made money, but it hasn't been a critical success. Again, that's not a judgment. That's just the truth. Other than Wonder Woman, the movies haven't been a critical success, and it hasn't given everyone the sensation that superheroes should give the viewer. Again, just objectively a fact. I thought it was very refreshing.
I did too.
So there's a little perspective. Is honest. I don't think he was bashing anything. I think he was just kind of giving a very honest assessment of the situation as he sees it. So.
Spencer, do you think this is mustache, just an honest take, or related to the fact that he's dead in Justice League?
Yeah, right. I think that he just thought he could get away with it because it was Poetic Justice. He probably thought it was like a zine that was going to be like on the little shelf in the record store before he walked out. Sorry for slandering Poetic Justice. It's probably great. But yeah, I think he did.
And our local zine scene.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is thriving.
What's your zine called? You promote your zine.
Oh, I used to write for a company called my headphones just fell on the
That's
floor.
a really
It's a weird
long name.
name,
I used to write
So old.
I used to write for a really funny book company called Devastator Press, which you should read their stuff. They made a Wet Hot American Summer role-playing game that's amazing.
Oh, that's great.
Yep.
So yeah, keep the zine scene alive.
Yeah.
And one. And number two, yes, it is some refreshing honesty from Henry Cavill. I think he didn't realize people would pick this up and it would go wide.
Okay, two things. I have a very clear image of Spencer at 16 after that description, walking out of the record store and picking up a zine.
Okay.
And his Alkaline Trio records.
I've never gotten a zine. Sorry.
But two is, I do think he must know at this point that anything he says about DC and Superman will get picked up literally everywhere. Like, he's just got to kind of know that. And so pieces of me think that this is kind of like secretly okayed by Warner Brothers to kind of say, hey, we know critics haven't loved this in the past, but we are taking it's a new tomorrow for Superman and everyone else.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
been the framing ever since Wonder Woman came out. And it was bright and bold and big, and everyone went, "See what we're doing now? Huh? Like,
Yeah,
I mean, that's
He
been
acknowledges Wonder Woman as kind of a...
Yeah, he follows that up, and he does talk about Wonder Woman. He praises it for it being more inclusive and better in tone and helping to propel the movies forward. That was an interjection from our producer Billy.
thanks, Hopper.
Thanks, Billy. thanks, Chief. I don't agree with them as far as this not being what people want out of superheroes, because there's a whole world of superheroes. There's a lot of different kinds, and there's your Batmans and your Spider-Mans, who are not broken characters, but they're people with weaknesses who grow and they themselves change. But superheroes like Superman and Wonder Woman don't change. They are gods that like bring out the best in us. And I don't really, I think if they kind of acknowledge that, and yes, Superman is supposed to inspire you. Wonder Woman is supposed to inspire you. Batman is supposed to be like, whoa, that guy's messed up. Well, I hope he can do the right thing. But you're not supposed to have those questions about Superman.
I don't disagree, yeah.
I would like to point out, though, that the movie, if the Justice League featuring what I presume to be the rebirth of Superman and the uniting of the Justice League is in fact the rebirth of the DCEU and the uniting of fans around this franchise, it would indeed be poetic justice.
Put it in a song. All right.
It was a metaphor. It was a dictionary definition to some degree. I feel like we could add that in to some kind of Wikipedia in which you can add anything. We could do that. That was
That's
very well
Wikipedia.
done. That's Wikipedia. The exact thing. I think, though, what he means, though, I think you're right that that's true about Wonder Woman and Superman. But I do think that people got what they wanted out of Wonder Woman in that regard, but not necessarily yet out of Superman. But if the world is as Dan sees it, that will happen
You're not lying.
in Justice League in just 3 weeks' time. You know what else is going to happen in a few weeks? Actually, it's more like a couple monmonths. Star Wars.
What?
I don't think I deserve that. I'm self-critiquing. I didn't earn that. However, Disney is kind of going full.
That's all you can say. Otherwise, John Williams sues you.
Yeah, for real though.
How's it
Okay,
sound
so
like?
the Wall Street Journal reports
off
that
key.
Disney is upping its take in so.
Yeah,
as you guys
say,
know-
give me more money, say.
Yeah, no, for real. So they usually, the studios get a take, right, of all of the ticket sales from theaters.
Yes.
So they are upping their take from 55 to 65%.
Are you saying they're altering the deal?
Nice.
Thanks, bro. Good one.
That's all I
right.
got for the morning.
Other rules include they have to keep The Last Jedi in for at least 4 weeks. And if the theaters violate these terms, they have to pay an
Put Jar
additional
Jar in every seat.
every seat. Then it's just full Jar Jar. They have to pay in another 5%. That's up to 70%. That's insane. And so for small independent theaters, this could cripple their business,
Yeah.
especially during the holidays.
Yeah, this is
Dan.
insane because this isn't aimed toward the AMC's or whatever. It's like this thing. You have to reserve it in your largest auditorium for a minimum of 4 weeks. AMC's going to run it for 6 or 7 or 8 weeks, and so is Pacific and all these other big chains. But it's like there's a theater here in LA called the Vista.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great independent theater. They run 2 theaters, and there's one they run independent movies. There's one their main theater though. The Vista is it plays one movie, and it's like $8 to get in, and they renovated it. There's lots of leg space. It's a beautiful renovated classic Hollywood theater. But they literally can only run one movie. They can't afford not to book The Last Jedi because obviously when that movie comes out, they're going to sell out every screening for a week. But at the end of the year, like in January, is when they usually book the Oscar movies. I saw La La Land there. They booked The Revenant there. Like they book all of the movies that come out. And so if they're forcing the Vista now, which only has one screen, to book The Last Jedi for a month, knowing that probably the last week and a half or 2 weeks they're going to be playing to a half full audience. And not only that, they're taking 10% more of their money.
It's crazy.
It's bullying. It's crazy, and it's like, what's that 10% going to buy you? Is that were the Ron Howard reshoots that expensive that you have to go shake down theaters for 10% more money?
They were a lot of money.
Hold on though,
It's
because if
ridiculous.
it's one screen, if it's a one screen theater, the penalty is they take 5% more if you take it off the biggest screen. But if there's only one screen, then that's 5% of nothing.
So, but they mean if you don't run it for 4 weeks,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So there's potentials for other holiday movies, right? So first of all, they've increased their take, which is step number one. I was so curious about this because Disney is so good at marketing and PR, you know, and this does appear to be very bullying. Question for us about the motivations behind this, just besides straight up cash, which Disney is notoriously really cheap. They know how to make money. You know, they are incredibly successful in terms of they typically have the lion's share of the box office. However, question. Theaters are already struggling so much. There's so many proposals about when movies will come to VOD. There's some proposals as quickly as 3 weeks after they're in the theaters. Disney is one of the only studios that has not been on board with that.
Yeah.
Is this just an attempt to cripple theaters over the next 2 years so that their streaming service takes off? Why?
No.
Tinfoil hat!
Yeah, get that tinfoil hat off. The Last Jedi is going to be the biggest movie of the year.
Yes, it is.
For all but the small theaters.
Well,
So
it seems like they're trying to do some weird bullying things in a lot of spots, like with conventions, you know. They're like, now Marvel's going to have its own con, like, suck it, every other convention, you know, stuff like that. I think they're just, I don't know why. I don't feel like Disney needs to, like, flex and be like, meet the new boss, kids, but it seems like they are in a lot of...
I mean, you're right, because it's like they used to go to Comic-Con. It's like, no, now we have our own Disney convention. Oh, and now we have our own Star Wars convention too. Oh, and now Marvel's gonna have its own convention too. You don't get that. You don't get that. You don't get that. You don't get our movies on Netflix. You know, and it's just like, what? What? Why? Like, why do you have to? Why be such a dick? Like, this is insane. Like they're mad with power. They're power mad. They're gonna run. I was talking about it this morning. They've decided Kathleen Kennedy's got Star Wars planned out for the next 10 years. So it's like they get Star Wars and they immediately say like, oh, did you like them every 3 years? We'll get them every year. You're gonna like it till we choke you on it and you hate it. And it's like,
Really violent mouse.
It is. Like, I
we
don't get what they're
underestimated the
doing.
firepower of this fully on an operational movie studio.
Tarantino's trying to do Hateful Eight a couple years ago, and he's like, I want to play at the Cinerama Dome. And they're like, fuck you, nerd. Sorry, you don't get to play your movie at the Cinerama Dome. It's like, why? This is like Force Awakens had made like $1 billion already. And they're like, we want our screen still. It's like, it's stupid.
I mean,
I don't get what they're doing.
I mean, a business is designed to want money and to want as much of the money as they can. And if they have the power, why not use it? But they're also so smart about public perception. That's where this one really confused me, because you can't take it as anything other than bullying because you can do it.
Like, they know that theaters can't afford not to show this movie.
They can't afford not to show the movie. And not only that, our screens were just so weird right now, like super trippy. Not only can they not afford, they have to show this movie, but you're talking about a time in which we have just had really, what is going on, JT?
What's that?
did something.
Much like Star Wars, you're being undermined by a pord.
Keep that off. We're gonna get sued.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was the creepiest pork. I love that.
JT, next time will you please let the three of us in on it so we just watch Roth go mad?
And then when you don't acknowledge it,
Yeah, we're like, what?
What are you talking about?
Exactly. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Anyway, we just had a record low box office. Theaters are struggling. There's really nobody knows how this is going to land in 5 years. Like, don't we still want to have movies in the theater? Don't we want them to survive enough that we can have movies in the theater if we want them?
It's so weird. It's just like, shouldn't you be doing these things not publicly?
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna bully everyone, like, you know, I think they are the empire. Like, they're just like,
well, they're
flying
Apple. Like,
into-
they want the closed ecosystem where they control every single step of the process.
I think we call that something. What do we call that?
Schmopoly?
Schmun schmopoly, mouse shopoly. Like it's just like we already this is a totally different discussion, but we're far too close to monopolies as it is.
But guys, wasn't Spider-Man Homecoming great? 2 studios combining to make a ton of money. Monopolies. Yay.
Yay! You know what else we love besides monopolies? Lion King. Speaking of Disney,
I hate Monopoly, by the way. That is the worst game. That's
tough
like,
game.
it's so long. and nobody's having fun by the end of it. I just want to be Monopoly in the real world. I don't know enough about economics, but Monopoly as a party game is the worst. The shoe is dumb. The banker's always cheating.
Shoe.
It's stupid.
Wow. I think you just specifically had some bad.
I've had several bad
with
experiences.
Monopoly.
Every time I play Monopoly is a bad experience.
I think you're just playing with dicks. I think that's the
No,
problem. I think everyone
who
you
has-
play Monopoly with is cheating.
It's 4 hours
and it's soured you of the game.
of effing each other over, and not in a fun way like Risk or like some like strategy game. It's just chance, and then you're just pounded in the ground by 3 unhappy capitalists.
That's the real world.
It sounds like life. That
Yeah, who
sounds
wants
like
to
our
play- Who
financial.
wants to escape to a worse version of reality?
It's
Ironically,
preparing you. If
the
you're-
board game Life, very charming.
Yeah, that's a fun game. Candyland, also a good game.
Candyland's good.
I like Candyland.
like
Shoots and
Candyland.
Ladders.
Yep.
That I don't. These are good board games, but I'm most of a fan of Cranium. Monopoly, though, is not for us as adults. It's for children to be prepared for the brutal reality of their financial future, and then to escape to watch The Lion King, to forget about it like the rest of us. So
Thanks to
the
Disney.
full cast of The Lion King was revealed. It's
pretty great
So
cast.
this was basically Disney boo, Disney yay! Let's talk about the cast. Joe Starr,
This great cast. Do you want me to say who's in it?
say the things.
Well, the new thing is that the singer Beyonce, who she was one of the members of Destiny's Child, Kelly Rowland's group, is playing Nala in The Lion King.
I like that you know Kelly Rowland.
Of course, the challenge is who's the rotating third slot or fourth one. Even there were 4.
Yeah,
for
there
a
were 4
time.
for a
4 at a
while.
time. Then there were 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't go digging in Beyonce's backyard. You'll find a lot of skeletons.
You find a bunch of Destiny's children.
Yeah.
Donald Glover is playing Simba. James Earl Jones.
Oh, really? Why can't I ever say it?
Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Ejiofor. Yeah, Mr. Ejiofor is playing Scar. Thank you for leaving me, Mr. Ejiofor. Seth Rogen, also difficult to say, is Pumbaa. Billy Eichner's Timon. John Oliver is Zazu. And Eric Andre is Azizi.
Very good. And then Michael Key.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who's
Marty,
Kamari in the movie?
I think they're the hyenas.
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 Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Let's bring back, Whoopi
the wolf
Goldberg.
things.
Sure. But
Yeah.
is it interesting that
Whoopi.
everyone has been recast except for James Earl Jones?
Yeah, I mean, you can't recast him. Like, he's still alive. His
Yeah.
voice is still his voice. He can't beat
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get better than James. If you're going voice work, you don't get better than James Earl Jones. He's the OG voice guy.
Are you guys excited about this? Because I know that everybody had a little. Okay.
Marginally more excited.
great
This
cast.
one is like this one will really put me one side or the other on these live action Disney reboots, because this is one, so far they've been a mixed bag. Didn't love Beauty and the Beast. I thought it was just kind of a retread of Beauty and the Beast. Loved The Jungle Book. Thought it took The Jungle Book and made it better. Lion King's already a perfect or near perfect film. What are you going to add to it? It doesn't do it for me, just the fact that it's real lions. So what can
Mocap.
I just
Yeah.
want to say, Spencer, they will not be real lions.
real to me, damn it.
I would watch just a movie where they just filmed lines and then put voiceover on them. Like,
That would be okay. You're right. That would be something new.
Great.
The seeing like a so real, it's so fake, it's real, or whatever. You know the thing that they do with the thing. That's not doing it for me if they haven't changed or adjusted the story. And what could you change or adjust about this story? It's classic.
it's very,
So if it's
yeah,
just
pretty
if
perfect.
it's a shot for shot, we're
Yeah.
not into it.
No, I thought so. My favorite live action remake they've done so far is actually Cinderella. I thought it was really good.
It was so good.
They did expand on the story. They took different takes on it. They explored the characters a lot more. There's some really fun stuff in that movie, and but then Beauty and Beast, like you said, was kind of just this shot for shot, really weak remix.
That made $1.3 billion.
That made $1.3 billion.
As this movie will make, probably more.
and
that's
then
why they're doing it.
John
Let's
Favreau
not-
comes out to Poetic Justice and says, though we made money. Does it make a difference that John Favreau's directing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I love
He
Fabs.
said it's a new
Fabs
take.
is great. Love
Yeah.
Fabs. Good director. Did great with Jungle Book. Iron Man.
Chef.
love that movie.
underrated.
That weird sequel to Swingers that wasn't really a sequel.
Made.
Made.
Yes. Made.
And it just makes me want a Cubano so bad. That movie makes me want to eat
Chef?
a sandwich.
Yeah, Chef is very. Don't watch that when you're hungry or when you just ate because you'll still be hungry. Favreau, I love. I'm not sold on the need for this movie. I'm really not. And I'm with Spencer. Like, I thought Beauty and the Beast was like, oh, okay, what's the cartoon and he threw in the plague. It was just like, I'm gonna go watch Beauty and the Beast. I'm not gonna go watch
creepy.
that again. I'm gonna watch Beauty and the Beast. It's the same thing.
I love the moment in Chef where Scarlett Johansson
I love that Spencer's been thinking about Chef this entire time.
ScarJo not only like happily dating this unsuccessful restaurateur who's like morbidly obese in this movie, but also is like, I need a bowl of your pasta. Please make me the pasta. I, Scarlett Johansson, love to tuck into just buttered noodles at night. And then he dumps her for Pepsi, Modern Family. What? The woman,
Sophia Vergara.
Good for you, John. Keep doing what you're doing, because you're just living your best life. I want it. I want your life.
I love that we were able to guess Sophia Vergara from Pepsi, Modern Family, and she does always seem to be like, yeah. Wow.
All right.
What
Sorry.
I want
Lion
is a
King.
graphic
Who's
of
she playing in the
Dan speaking very thoughtfully, and then just thought bubbles of Spencer and sandwiches.
Yeah, the Cubanos did look amazing in that movie.
So good.
A lot of good looking food, and those ribs in the back part.
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Movies that make
Delicious.
you hungry will be a segment we'll do here.
Yeah. The Big Night.
Big Night.
Big Night makes me hungry.
That scene in Hook with the imaginary food.
That doesn't because it looks so weird.
Yeah, I guess it's
It's like
purple and orange mashed
dyed
potatoes.
food that
Yeah.
doesn't.
Ratatouille makes me hungry.
I always want crepes when I watch Inglourious Bastards. That scene where he's when they're eating those look so good. If only they weren't being made and eaten by Nazis.
Well, no, you would take them away from the Nazis. They shouldn't enjoy the
it's true.
crepes.
Christoph Waltz does not deserve crepes. in that
Yeah,
movie.
No.
he doesn't. You deserve those crepes, Dan.
Yeah.
You
Were
deserve
they
those crepes.
I don't know. I'm sure if it wasn't. They looked. It was a pastry. Anyway,
It was
they
a
looked
delicious looking, delicious looking
creme.
pastry. So here's where we stand today, ladies and gentlemen. We stand, hey, thumbs up to you, Superman. Refreshing bit of honesty.
Subscribe to Poetic Justice.
Disney, why are you being a bully? Lion King. Yeah,
Good cast.
It's a good
I'm
cast.
excited to see Billy Eichner yell Hakuna Matata at Hakuna Matata!
Yeah, Chef
I love him.
makes us hungry. We enjoy Chef. And finally, Stranger Things.
I would watch these characters have a season where nothing weird happened to them at all, so I was okay with it.
Yeah.
I just like watching them do what they do.
Yes.
Okay.
Episode 7's real weird,
More Jim Croce dancing in
Yeah.
season 3.
though. Yes.
Stranger Things pull
Agreed.
quotes from Screen Junkies News. All right, thank you for joining us today. Have a good rest of your Thursday. We will see you here tomorrow on Friday. It's Fan Friday, so you can tweet at us. Let us know what you'd like us to talk about. We will answer literally almost any question, including anything food related.
Oh, yeah, Food
Specifically,
Junkies. Definitely.
Food Junkies.
Yeah.
Let's make it a thing. Food Junkies coming to you in January.
Whoa.
Probably not.